Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you all. My name is Shehzad Abbasi, and I'm honoured to be here today as an ambassador for the Diversity Project, focusing on diversity and inclusion in financial services in the UK. Before we begin, I want to emphasise that I'm not an Islamic scholar. Any errors in what I say are solely mine and should not be attributed to my religion. I must also acknowledge that where I work now is extremely supportive and an excellent ally for all elements of diversity, equity and inclusion. This video aims to amplify the conversations and messages that have already taken place there in order to help others. So today, I want to share with you the importance of educating ourselves about different religions and cultures, and some of the considerations we should try to make in the workplace. Let's start by discussing unconscious bias, an often overlooked topic. We're taught in school in the UK that the Middle Ages or medieval period was a time of stagnation, without any real progress for humanity until the time of the Renaissance. However, during this very period, an Islamic empire rose, stretching from modern-day Pakistan to Spain. In fact, if you'd taken a picture from space at night time in those days, the only place lit up in the whole globe, just like somewhere like New York or Dubai would be now, was Baghdad, the former capital of the old Islamic Empire. One remarkable figure from this time was Avicenna, whose real name was Ibn Sina. He fathered modern medicine and he revolutionized philosophy. Even today, his textbooks are required reading for medical students in Europe, 1,000 years after his passing. Ibn Sina also theorized the concept of a singularity, the idea that the entire universe emanated from a single point in time and a single event, which is truly amazing given the time period it took place. Another great example is that of Al-Khwarizmi, who invented Arabic numerals and the numbering system we use in financial services today. He also created the algorithm, which had its roots in the Roman pronunciation of his name, algorithm. Other examples of advances during that period were things like indoor plumbing, street lighting, as I mentioned, and the lens. These were all innovations that emerged from this so-called dark period in history. These examples highlight the fact that we all carry some degree of unconscious bias. We must challenge the narratives we were taught and recognize the contributions of diverse cultures and religions throughout history. Now, let's explore how religion and culture can impact career progression in the industry. Personally, as a Muslim, my faith has taught me the values of integrity, honesty, and fairness. These principles have not only guided my professional journey, but also influenced the way I interact with colleagues and clients. Now, if you'll allow me to share a personal story to illustrate just how religion and culture can affect career progression. Over 20 years ago, when I first started in my first front office job, I noticed a pattern. Despite being competent in my role, I struggled to close deals and initiate business over a telephone. It was then that my chief operating officer approached me with an idea. He asked if I'd be willing to rename myself temporarily to test a theory. And that's how Charles Abbasi was born. And to my surprise, my progression in that role became exponentially better. Just by changing the perception of who I was to those on the other end of the phone, I was able to get instant results and a dramatic improvement in my work. Later, I moved to Dubai and I joined one of the wealthiest Arab family offices in the world. Here, I experienced a different kind of privilege. I actually had advantages to being a multilingual Muslim with a strong Western education. I quickly advanced to the position of COO by the age of 30. This journey highlights how cultural diversity can present both obstacles and opportunities in the workplace. Now let's address how we can foster a more inclusive environment when working with Muslim colleagues. It starts with making space for individuals to practice their faith. Flexibility in scheduling annual leave during Eid, Ramadan, and prayer times is crucial. Respecting dietary restrictions just as we would for someone with allergies creates a much more inclusive atmosphere. These small changes can dramatically improve a business's culture, growth, reputation, and retention. It's essential to remember that Islam is one of the 3 Abrahamic religions, along with Judaism and Christianity. There are more similarities between people than differences. By keeping this in mind, we can shift our focus and our thinking and our treatment of others, creating better homes, workplaces, and local communities. In conclusion, diversity and inclusion are not just buzzwords, but powerful concepts that can reshape our homes, our workplaces, and our local communities. By appreciating different religions and cultures, challenging our unconscious biases, and creating an inclusive environment, we can unlock the full potential of diversity. Let us strive together to build a society where everyone feels valued and respected. Shukran, thank you, and may peace and blessings be upon you all.